sumju tujere. Mola thanda sumju tujere.
Stop the killing! Stop the genocide! Stop the torture!
China!
Tibet was free before, and Tibet will be free again. This is not some dream in the distant future, it is our destiny.
Purgalo, keep showing up. Purgalo.
Stop the killing! Stop the genocide! Stop the torture!
China! Wake up! We will free Tibet! We will free Tibet!
ngasani sunami sani shunu gi sokso ani ta tharing dela ngajo Toronto ni mingap chu ngaksum le re thanda dela sasi ani Montreal ni issue che Ottawa ni Bhuchung ni norme ne gechus le go sare so yado ma chi ni ngajo dela mi ni ges che gi rewa do andina la chang siwa na gabla inji mangbu shu le inji Bhuchung ni shu le dawala Ottawa dengerang inji rang ngajo pheba ki cha den la gabza chinge ra kwan za ling thamba ni shue ani ta thari shoge ni shoge chuje shiwa ni chi ni ngajo Ottawa ni bus ni ani goti chinge de sani shunu che an digi nala ani chokba kheche she CTO ani familial jo dogam chu shang do SFT chokba ngagi goti chilen chuen ya Ottawa la goti chinge CDC che ani digala Ottawa gi Tibetan community che ani Montreal che ani nganjo chokba ngayo chuen la so tu na an pegelo
sumju tujere ani sumshu tujere la wada kiran la chonang kharili do
tadi sem kyo ta ani logyu chen gi tuse tujin ani nenga chishi chire
mola thanda sumshu tujere ani sumshu tujere la wada ani amla rang la chwa kharili do
Sempat kyo idur.
Ani amla rangi sumju tujere di tatema khajiro chayuna.
Ever since I was a young guy that China invaded, genocide, loss of cultural rights. Now we have 1 million children in school completely losing their cultural identity, all taken over by Han Chinese who dominate the culture, the geography, the environment, and are ruining a beautiful country.
I'm here with my granddaughter today to support the movement for free Tibet. China's not leaving Tibet, but we're asking for complete autonomy within China for the area of Tibet. Stop the cultural genocide. Stop the abuse.
Lama truthi na do tni ulo ni sheba tomba trubi tiche dele mandu tiche lagra tanda de tiche mare sanji tiche ngacho ngogolo lo ani shida sambu tari chilo ngajo teni yons zoba de ni mati somba chintong ni ala nyondi ala ro ngogo jai ga tiche karsa tite da triche gore tiche te traso to gore tite se ju tere tiche de traso yongju tong ne mata ne la tite yes hote tiche
ne me ya tu de wan ye yi ne shum shop so ba che
당 숨주 투진다 망부지 투진 숨도 이거를 켜봐 가려고
no so ta taring chidang anjo Toronto liya pepa pepenchi mo yorwa tina ne ta mangche wadi Toronto rang liya no ke kimbo chi yore tina ne taring de yang bas kanza mi chi tata chi Ottawa to chine du yore ta chidang gi ta talo anjo sumju tuten le mo to tuchen le ma re tuchen na ta anjo sumju che ta celebration che ki jarwa ta taring di sumju tuten de ta anjo ngabju ngogo le rawang kelang che bane sune ta lo tukchu re tu tak tak kogi yorwa ti sane ta ngaju tuten le go ma to ta kerab logyu na la ta ngaju kerab na la ta naktik chishu da ju ngaju la dark spirit history de sa di yorwa o tin sire di
Nyaming Tenzi Kunsei, my name is Tanzin Kunsel, nga Perangzen Loptu Tsokpani. I'm from Students for Free Tibet, Toronto. And today, from Parkdale, Toronto, 50 of us came in this bus and we're on the way to Ottawa right now to Parliament Hill. And today, on March 10th, Tibetan National Uprising Day, we're here once again, year after year, to remind the world, to remind politicians and parliamentarians that Tibetans in Canada and all around the world will continue to resist until Tibet is given justice and liberation. We are here to remind them that the Tibetan issue is a significant global issue and should be paid attention by parliamentarians in the entire world.
라온 출라다 남균에 투진 거인 바이닐 구버견치 야마 피도 소소 출라데 숨주들이 탱 가져버디 책이나 아니 소소라 숨주들인슬라디 소소라 초와다 된다 가르치는
tande nga chita ga Canada le lo ni changa si ru yu ba ta sunchi tu de tanda pa de chune che ma nyu te Ottawa la ta tema khashi ji te cha ta sunchi tu de sing te chita ga ta tu ka ra nga ran zo ga ta chi ke pe me yung zo gi tu che de chen su che ga te ke chim bu shu cha go yo re ani jami ma bo ta pe le chen zu che che ne ani ngone tu ne si de guna chim bu shu che lang che ne ta te le ge tu de je cha go re tu de cha ma ga chen go ji cha go re te chi pau pa mo mambo ji ge ti ka le su ro so lu ta te ne che de tanda pa da ta shu ji ro so lu ta ye ba ti sa ti ngan zu pe be cha ma ga je mo ni ye ji da tu jin de sem ba le nya go ye ji da ke chim bu shu ji cha go re ne chi da ge nga ran chi ngo go ta chi ke do ga cha ga mang cha le ro to ya ga ta chi chi ge le su ji de da tanda pa che ma nyu
투체
So Thalo looks to do Christmas time, just before Christmas, Xi Jinping sent us a present. Christmas gift now. What is the Christmas gift Xi Jinping gave us? He sanctioned us, not sanctioned us. That gave all some marve. Pearl, not me kanga. Some Kata kanga. But the control now. And also, then me, they're trying to muzzle us here in Canada.
I'm from Students for Free Tibet, Toronto. Today, on March 10th, we are reminded of the day in 1959 when Tibetans in Lhasa rose to the streets and rose up against Chinese occupation, knowing the risks, knowing the consequences, but refusing to ever be silenced. We are reminded that even more than 66 years that the fight still isn't over. For over 6 decades, China has tried to erase Tibet. They have stolen our land, rewritten our history, and attacked our very identity. They steal Tibetan children from their families and force them into colonial boarding schools designed to strip them of their language and of their culture.
They demolish monasteries, imprison monks and nuns under the guise of progress and modernization. They criminalize the simple act of speaking Tibetan inside of Tibet. And yet, Tibetans inside of Tibet and in exile refuse to be erased. But Tibet is not just a Tibetan issue. This is a global issue. The same China that colonized Tibet is the same China surveilling and suppressing its own citizens, disappearing activists, torturing Uyghurs, and threatening Taiwan, expanding its authoritarian reach worldwide. To fight for Tibet is to fight for a world that does not bow down to dictatorship. A world where justice triumphs over tyranny. Right now, as I speak, Tibetans in Tibet are fighting alone. They're burning their bodies on fire. They're risking their lives just to speak Tibetan, just to teach Tibetan, just to pray in their own monasteries, just to exist as Tibetans. For over 60 years, China has tried to erase Tibet. But they have failed because Tibetans are still here. Because despite of everything, we still speak our language, we still practice our faith, we still preserve our culture, and we still resist their rule. And we will continue to resist their rule until the day Tibet is free. They can imprison our leaders, but they cannot imprison an entire people's dream. They can destroy our monasteries, but they can never destroy our faith. They can rewrite our history, but they can never erase the truth. Tibet was free before, and Tibet will be free again. This is not some dream in the distant future, it is our destiny. Pegalo! 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 Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Tuchinang.
Hear young people speak up like that, it's so encouraging, and so many young people here today. And thari ning thaba ne number to chama dus pewa tha ring bu ne pewa pewa de tuji dans shui ta ngan Montreal chu zu ni tre Ottawa la de shunye re na Toronto ne thari ngau shang ne chu zu shi nga tsu bas na pewa de tuji nas shui. So I nga thari jonge zo che to inji na ne tsi khashe ji shu chwa chi. So like Sambila says, we've been here for many, many years. Many of us here, Tsi Gelela, who just spoke on behalf of the community in Quebec, his parents were part of the first Tibetans that came to Canada. And I'm working on a book right now to document how Tibetans came to Canada for the first time over 55 years ago. And I spoke to many of 23 elders, spoke and told their stories, and we asked them, what's your hope for the next generation? And the same thing comes through, is that they don't forget Tibet, they don't forget Tibetan culture, and that they keep fighting for Tibetans inside Tibet. So I don't need to remind all of you here who are here because you embody that message. But I think that there's a lot of work to do in our community with your peers by setting a wonderful example. So I really, really want to congratulate you on taking that initiative and really showing up. This July is going to be His Holiness's 90th birthday. And I don't know how many of you watch videos where he gives teachings or gives speeches, but you can see that he's very, very frail gradually, and he's aging. His advanced age is starting to show. And I think for all of us, I think that when we think about him and all the work that he did since we came into exile, and how he kept us together as a nation, made us proud when we were all refugees, so that today when we say we're Tibetan, we can hold our head up high and we're proud of our heritage. And that's one man single-handedly who constantly reminded us that no matter the fact that we were forced into exile, that we stand proud because we represent, like Sampela said, a very old civilization that is very rich and that has a cultural heritage that can benefit the entire world. So today, every time we come March 10th, whether it's His Holiness's birthday, Losa, or religious holidays, I think that when we see our elders aging, His Holiness aging, we have to keep ourselves, how do we make sure that we keep their legacy alive? When we researched how Tibetans came to Canada for the first time, it was His Holiness making an appeal to the Canadian government. And it wasn't so that we would all have fancy houses and nice cars. It would be so that we would get educated and do exactly what we're doing today, is to keep showing up in front of the Chinese embassy and say, we are not forgetting, we are here. And when I was Kalon in Dharamsala, and we would have embassy in Geneva and everywhere around the world. In Geneva at the UN Human Rights Council, we were a very, very small team, but it was so annoying to the Chinese, and it keeps being annoying because we keep showing up. Whether we're 10, 20, 100, 1,000, we keep showing up for Tibetans inside Tibet. So, Pergalo, keep showing up. Pergalo!
Mandu de changma choba kidu yorwa. Choba kidu group yorwa. Dingi nani loile. Choba group na la sempangere. Nga kazi nima nisnge la nga la kabafles. Sani la kare sumju dure yomara las minde. Nganzu kidu na che tang masles. Nganzu ki lega che di nganzu dawa chiksnge ni tang sa rele. Ta chuanzu chokzo ki le ma ke na nganzu ke che yomara le. Chuanzu pa tiro na. Choba kidu chokzo na. Chuanzu sangma kidu group jibule yorwa. Wodi chokzo le tiro na. Kajin information lego marele ni. Kidu dinzo ra. Sumju direnda kwembe gyame shumzoro kwembe chigela ni minda dinzo ki seta machiwa enara di kidu de gyame kidur da nyi la idulap sani sonami sani shunu sokzogi gawu dan de kiwu dan kidu na khachi gora mara de ledu kapsu lungma melan lejora Canada bula nganzo lungma yolan lejora mara changma topda melan legora di desik samlo dan resangudu ra group dala tikdong ngap gele du wawlas khari wow lawre Toronto la mi khajur Une shamdera tikdong abge lana khari wow takba tikdong abge tikdong ye dini la doi chemin khare lega doi langi dinzora une thang sumju dirila lega doi lana ta une shamder da ta lega ni che gomba rai mindu na tingi mo dojo dira shinde gyaro na une chopala
Manzo yi chaseru lama tu pa David ne chu chi tong gu kyang chu ma gulo ge je mi ma u tu se tu ta me ki tembe ya la la ye ge je mi ma u tu se tu ta me ki tembe ya long show be mina zangli mi ma zika tu long show tembe bambu chi zangli mi ma zika tu long show tembe bambu chi pejo da gi go世界被灭自己，两个结果红彩一心落步，世界被灭自己，找我选拔了嘛，三个干嘛不能打着东有一个这密码啦说。Preneta de ton yui, que te mi malo. In Tibet!
No human rights!
In Tibet!
No religious freedom!
In Tibet!
Stop genocide!
In Tibet!
Stop mining!
In Tibet!
Stop mining!
In Tibet!
Tibet was never,
A part of China!
Tibet was never,
A part of China!
Tibetans are dying.
How many lives?
Wake up, wake up,
United Nations!
wake up, wake up.
United Nations!
We will free Tibet. We will,
Free Tibet!
we will.
Free Tibet!
What do we want?
We want freedom!
What do we want?
We want freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
Release the political prisoners now!
Release the political prisoners now!
Release the Bhuchung Lama now!
Release the Bhuchung Lama now!
China is guilty!
Guilty of genocide!
China out of Tibet now!
미만 창마 촉박하게 조미다 믹스기 데 선이선함 주는 초도 기행기와데 표지체 슈에이 캐나다 페들린도 탑시지 다는 신 안도 어로와 브리지드 촉박 귤레 촉조 미만 넘버 창마 표지체 슈에이 페어데 개충부 되는 게 디로 개충부지게 나는 그런저 TCAQ 큐벡 브리지드 촉박이 초조 귤레 아니 미만 넘버 창마데 로다르시 페어데 표지체 슈에이 캐나다 페들린도 탑시지 아니 나란스데 로타르시 짐바키네 마제르시데 아르와게 베덴 잡게 잡어 Carla Ward and family la 배워서만 삽시도 투지치 슈에 Thank you Carla and family. Yeah. 너무 더난 중에는 다른데 견한 흉사 추주 중에 제일 고자셔. 예사 사다와로 이네 본주데 아주 팁슬라 그런 고자셔 슈에. 아주 이네 캐나다 넘버즈 킹게데 캐나다 페델에서 예자 야나게 녀 땅차즈레 아주 균의 샘시 참 매슈에 그래서 아니 Free Tibet.
Yummy mother said